A very good morning to all of you. This is mathematics class of grade 8 and today I am here with summary lecture of chapter number 15, Introduction to Graphs. Topics to be discussed in this lecture are: firstly, I shall discuss the introduction part of this chapter. Under this topic, we are supposed to recall about bar graph, pie graph, histogram, line graph. Then we shall move further to the discussion of linear graphs. Under this topic, firstly, we shall cover the definition of linear graph, then how to locate a point. Further, Cartesian system we will talk about, and at the end, the last but not the least topic of this chapter or of this lecture will be some applications. I shall discuss few applications of this chapter number 15, Introduction to Graphs. Dear children, you must have seen graphs in newspapers, televisions, magazines, etc. Basically, graph shows the numerical facts. A graph shows the numerical facts in visual form so that they can be understood easily, quickly, and clearly. So this is why we are supposed to study graph. A graph shows the numerical facts in visual form so that they can be understood easily, quickly, and clearly. Dear children, you must have studied about different types of graphs like bar graph, double bar graph, histogram, and circle graph. Let us see quickly the definition of those different types of graphs. A bar graph is used to show comparison among categories. Second type of graph we are supposed to recall is a pie graph. A pie graph is used to compare parts of a whole. As in the previous lecture, I have shown you these types of graphs. Though, dear children, in this chapter, as far as this chapter is concerned, we are supposed to make or locate the points in the Cartesian system. We are supposed to study or mainly focus on the coordinate system. These types of graphs are just to make you recall about the difference so that you should understand the difference between these types of graphs. But the construction of these graphs we have done in the previous chapters. So as far as this chapter is concerned, we are supposed to mainly focus on coordinate system, coordinate axis, coordinates of a point, how to locate a point, but these definitions should be clear to you also. So let us talk about now histogram. A histogram is a bar graph that shows data in intervals. This is what the definition of histogram is. Let us talk about the definition of now line graph. A line graph displays data that changes continuously over periods of time. That changes continuously over periods of time. So these are the definitions of different types of graphs. So I will be talking about now linear graph. A line graph which is a whole unbroken line is called a linear graph. Dear children, you must have done exercises 15.2 and 15.3. In those exercises, you must have made linear graphs. I'm showing you one example of linear graph. This is an example of linear graph where you can see this is a line graph which is a whole unbroken line. This is an unbroken line, continuous line. So this is an example of linear graph. So let us talk about now coordinate system, how to locate the points in the coordinate system, what is a Cartesian system. Dear children, suppose you go to an auditorium and search for your reserved seat. You need to know two numbers. First should be the row number and the seat number. This is basically the basic method for fixing a point in the plane. This is what a system is called, that is Cartesian system, where we are supposed to plot the points. Now, what is this Cartesian system? And I'm going to tell you an amazing fact about this Cartesian system or coordinate system. Actually, the 17th century mathematician Rene Descartes noticed the movement of an insect near a corner of the ceiling, and he began to think of determining the position of a given point in a plane. His system of fixing a point with the help of two measurements, that is vertical and horizontal, came to be known as Cartesian system in his honor. So this is an amazing thing to know that the 17th century mathematician Rene Descartes noticed the movement of an insect near a corner of the ceiling, and he began to think of determining the position of a given point in a plane. His system of fixing a point with the help of two measurements, that is horizontal and vertical, came to be known as Cartesian system. Or coordinate system. So I'm going to tell you what is this Cartesian system, though we have already discussed it. So I'm explaining it again in detail about Cartesian system, coordinates of a point, what are two axes, what is the point of intersection of two axes. So we will be discussing all these in detail now. Now you can see I have drawn two number lines XO, X dash, and y dash o y. These two number lines are perpendicular to each other. This is horizontal and this is vertical. On a graph paper I have made it, and the point of intersection of these two axes is origin. This point is origin. The horizontal line xo x dash is known as x-axis, and vertical line y dash o y is known as y-axis. xo x dash, yo y dash, when they are taken together, are called coordinate axes. Coordinate axes. These two axes, when they are taken together, they are known as coordinate axes. The point O is called the origin, as I have already told you. This configuration, the configuration so formed, is known as Cartesian plane, coordinate plane, or coordinate system. Coordinate system or Cartesian plane. Now, coordinates of a point. I have taken, suppose, this point P in the coordinate plane. This is my point P in the coordinate plane. You can take this point anywhere. From P, I am making perpendicular to xo x dash. I have made the perpendicular M. PM is the perpendicular to xo x dash. Then OM, this distance is called x coordinate or abscissa. X coordinate or abscissa. And it is usually denoted as x. MP is called y coordinate or ordinate of P, and it is usually denoted by y. MP is known as y coordinate or ordinate, y coordinate or ordinate of P, and it is usually denoted as x. It is usually denoted as y. This is x coordinate, that is OM. The other name of x coordinate is abscissa. MP is y coordinate. The other name of y coordinate is ordinate. Now x and y taken together are known as coordinates of point P, and it is always taken in this order, that is x comma y. This is basically an ordered pair. You cannot write y comma x. Okay, you can see here that x and y we have taken together. These are the coordinates of P, and it is always written as x comma y or px comma y. Further, x coordinate, that is abscissa of a point, is positive. You can see here all the points are positive if it is measured to the right of the origin, and x coordinate or abscissa will be negative if it is measured on the left of the origin. You can see all the points here are negative. Now let us talk about y coordinate. The y coordinate, when it is measured above the origin, it will always be positive. Y coordinate, when it will be measured below the origin, it will be negative. The coordinates of origin are 0, 0. Origin coordinates will be 0, 0. Now, these two axes divide the plane into 4 parts. You can see 4 parts are there, 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is known as first quadrant. This is known as second quadrant. This is known as third quadrant, and this is known as fourth quadrant. First, second, third and fourth. Here you can see in the first quadrant this x is positive, y is positive. So x, y both will be positive. Now let us talk about second quadrant. In this quadrant you can see x is negative, y is positive. In third quadrant, x is negative, y is also negative. So the point which will be lying in the third quadrant, its x coordinate and y coordinate both will be negative. Now talking about the fourth quadrant, this is the fourth quadrant. Here you can see x is positive and y is negative. X is positive, y is negative. Now another important point is the point which will be lying on the x-axis, whether it will be to the right of origin or to the left of the origin, its coordinates will be x comma 0. That is, if I talk about this point, what are the coordinates of this point? 3 comma 0, because we are not supposed to move vertically. It is 3 0. We are not supposed to move anywhere along vertical lines. So I will stay here. This is my point 3 comma 0. If I talk about this point, what will be the coordinates of this point? Minus 4 comma 0. If I talk about this, it will be minus 2 comma 0. So the points which will be lying on the x-axis, their coordinates will be x comma 0. Now let us talk about the any point which is lying on the y-axis. The point which will be lying on y-axis, its abscissa or x coordinate will be 0. For example, what will be the coordinates of this point? It will be 0 comma 1. What are the coordinates of this point? It will be 0 comma minus 3. These are the coordinates of this point. If I talk about this point, what will be the coordinates of this point? It will be 0 comma 2. I hope all these points related to this Cartesian system, coordinate system, how to locate the points are very well clear to you now. Now, next part which I am going to discuss in this chapter is applications. Dear children, in everyday life, you might have observed that more you use a facility, the more you pay for it. The more you use a facility, the more you pay for it. If more electricity is consumed, the bill is bound to be high. If less electricity is consumed, then the bill will be easily manageable. This is an instance where one quantity affects the other. Amount of electric bill depends upon the quantity of electricity used. It is quite obvious. Electricity used. We say that quantity of electricity used is an independent variable, or sometimes you can say it is a control variable, and amount of electricity bill is the dependent variable, and the relation between dependent and independent variables can be shown with the help of graph. This is what the application of this concept. So I am showing you one example, or I am showing you one graph wherein it will be clearly visible that how the independent variable and dependent variables are related to one another. So this is an example of linear graph. So number of oranges in this case are independent variables, and cost per dozen is the dependent variable. Here, more the number of oranges, more will be the cost which a person needs to pay. So you can say this is a graph showing the relation between independent variable and dependent variable. I hope, dear children, you have understood all the concepts of this chapter. So it's time for the homework now. You are supposed to complete assignment of this chapter number 15, Introduction to Graphs, which will be uploaded under the homework column on EdQuark site. So, dear children, on the basis of the concepts taught in this lecture as well as in the previous lectures, I hope you will be capable enough to solve this assignment. And if you still have doubt, you can clarify your doubts in the online classes. That's all for today. Thank you so much.